Hi, how are you this afternoon? Today I wanted to do another live, and today it's going to be a little bit about protein and how it affects us in menopause. So let's get started. Lately, protein seems to have become the latest buzzword when talking about our diets. Our culture is somewhat obsessed with protein intake, and today I want to talk about the role it plays in menopause and aging. Protein is a building block for everything in our body. We need adequate dietary protein to help build and repair muscles and bones, and to make hormones and enzymes. We know that protein is important if you want to build muscle mass, but there is so much more to what protein does in your body. Your bones, ligaments, tendons, liver, brain, skin, and fingernails are all built from protein. If you have good muscle strength, you age better. Inactive muscles waste away and initiate poor metabolism. The loss of muscle or muscle mass is called sarcopenia. When you lose muscle, not much good happens in the body. Insulin, cortisol, stress hormone, and blood sugar go up. Estrogen levels go down, and there could be weight gain. Surprise, surprise. Unfortunately, many of us in midlife don't get enough protein. Protein is the macronutrient that will guard us against loss of muscle. It's pretty cool because it does this through a process called protein synthesis. As you age and pass through menopause, protein intake becomes even more important to us for boosting immunity, to repair and strengthen muscles, as well as maintain bone health. As we get older, we're less able to convert protein we eat into muscle, so we need to eat more protein to maintain or preferably build our muscle. I'm going to say it again because it's so important. The more muscle mass you have, the better you age. You'll be stronger and more able to fend off disease. When your muscles contract, they release a substance called myokines, and myokines are helpful in reducing inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of most chronic diseases such as cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. In menopause, as we've mentioned many times, you lose estrogen, and this is part of the reason for the loss of skeletal muscle mass. There are two ways that you can help promote and protect that muscle mass: through the intake of high quality protein in your diet, and also in building extra muscle through stressing the muscle with strength and resistance training. Remember all those crazy diets we went on when we were younger? Well, they didn't do us any favours. You might have lost weight, and yes, some of it would have been fat, but most definitely some of it, and a lot of it, would have been muscle mass. Now, I can't speak for you, but I lost count of the amount of diets I went on when I was younger. Once lost, this muscle is really difficult to earn back, especially now as you're dealing with the decline in hormones that would normally support you in that particular battle. Protein is made up of amino acids, which are essential to the body's optimal function. Some amino acids the body makes itself, but there are 9 essential amino acids that we can only get through our diet. So animal proteins like meat, fish, dairy, and eggs are generally considered high quality protein because they contain all 9 amino acids in adequate amounts for us. Vegetarians need to include a wide variety of protein-rich foods to be able to meet all their essential amino acid needs. And in general, to do this, they would likely be consuming more calories. So how much protein do we need? The expert recommended dietary allowance of protein for healthy aging of women over 50 is 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of weight per day. A woman who's around 65 kg in weight would need to eat around 25 grams of good quality protein per meal. I'll attach an infographic to this post that shows you what 25 grams of protein looks like in various foods, which gives you an idea of what you need to eat. To get what you need, including good quality protein at every meal. Spreading your protein intake evenly over the course of your day has been found to improve muscle protein synthesis, which we talked about earlier, and keeping consistent has been shown to promote muscle repair and growth. If you work out, it's important to eat protein after your workout so that you can capitalize on building that muscle. And you would probably also need to consider an overall higher protein intake to give your muscles the energy they need. There are a couple of things to remember. If you find you need to increase your protein intake because you've just realized that you're not having enough, then you need to reduce your carb and fat intake to compensate. That is, if you don't want to put on weight. Secondly, there is such a thing as too much protein, and the excess your body doesn't need will be stored as fat. So do your best to increase empty carbs and saturated fats and start on a higher protein diet, and you'll have the right environment for building muscle. The best source of proteins that contain the essential amino acids that we need are turkey, lean beef, skinless chicken breast, and lean pork chop, extra firm tofu, Brazil nuts, white beans, large eggs, tempeh. Beef, tuna and chicken have the highest combined concentration of amino acids. I know on this website, on my website, I push for increasing your plant foods, and that's because they're packed with nutrients, and as a bonus, some have reasonable levels of protein and fibre. But unless you're a vegan or vegetarian, there is a place for good quality lean animal protein. Animal protein will easily deliver the amino acids that you need without adding too many calories. Another point I would like to make here is about sustainability and environmental issues. We have seen a lot about the negative impact on the environment of cattle and dairy farming, so you may be opposed to including animal protein in your diet. Perhaps choosing products that are sourced closer to home and are produced using environmental practices could be an acceptable option. I like to think of my meals as plant-based with a garnish or side of protein-rich animal products. But that's probably become a bit less and less as I've got a bit older, so it's completely up to you. Often women over 50 who feel that they are overweight will diet. That means they'll cut down their intake of calories to the point of being hungry, and that's not good. When the body's hungry, it will hang on to fat and start burning muscle as energy. And at a time when it's difficult to maintain our muscle mass, not having adequate protein will only escalate muscle loss. Conversely, if you add more protein into your diet, while at the same time decreasing overall calories, usually by cutting out empty carbs, your body composition and metabolism will improve. As a bonus, eating additional protein results in a much smaller weight regain after weight loss. In conclusion, adapting your lifestyle to include actions that preserve muscle mass and strength by using exercise and nutrition is crucial to living a longer, happier and healthier life as you age. And that's the end of the live today. I thank you very much for listening. If you've got any questions, certainly throw them in the comments, and I'll speak to you again soon.